Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to continue to talk about trigonometric equations. But this time, the main focus would be on the quadratic equation structure. Let's look at example number 10. We know that tangent and cotangent theta are the roots of the quadratic equation which is given, and you need to find something. First of all, when you are given two roots, you can do many things. Like you can substitute the root into the equation, you can consider the sum of roots, and you can consider the product of roots. Now, you need to be familiar with the relation between the 6 trigonometric ratios. And yes, tangents and cotangents are friends. That means when they are multiplied together, you will get 1. And that reminds you to use product of roots. So for part A, we know that the sum of roots is tangent theta times cotangent theta, which is k over 3. And that is k equals 3. And part B, hence find theta. That means you just need to make use of the fact that k is 3 to get the result. And now, let's do something. We try to solve for value of x. Actually, we can find the value of theta without considering the hands. But since the question is like that, then I need to solve like this. Okay, and since the equation there is an irrational coefficient, so it's very difficult for us to do factorization. Do you still remember last time we encountered similar difficulties? And to do this, we try to make use of the calculator to help us find the first irrational roots. Or if you like, you can apply quadratic formula to find the value of x. Now, I try to do it by factorization again. I'm not going to use quadratic formula because most of you could solve the equation by quadratic formula. If I consider formula 01, I can have 3 minus 4 root 3 and 3. You'll get the first root is like that. And when you take square of that, you'll get 3. So that means one of the roots is root 3. And thus, I can do the factorization like this. I can have x minus root 3. And to match the terms, I should have 3x minus root 3. Okay? And when you do the expansion, you can check whether you get negative 4 root 3x. And yes, you can get that. That means we have x equals root 3, or x is root 3 over 3. Now, you have two roots. One should represent tangent theta and one should represent cotangent theta. But up to now, you don't know which is which, right? And that means you need to split the result into two different cases. The first case, case 1, tangent theta is root 3, or tangent theta is, or cotangent theta is root 3 over 3. For this one, the range is from 0 to 2 pi, and we know that theta here is pi over 3. And also we add pi to that, so we have 4 pi over 3 as well. What about this? This the same as tangent theta is equal to root 3, right? When you consider the reciprocal, we have 3 over root 3, which is the same as tangent theta equals root 3. Okay, so case 1, we have theta is pi over 3 or theta is 4 pi over 3. And second, case 2, when you consider tangent theta is root 3 over 3 or not or, it should be this pair is in pair, and cotangent theta is root 3. Okay, they are also reciprocal to each other. But then for this one, you know that theta is pi over 6 and also 7 pi over 6. So in all, we have 2 different cases and we have 2 sets of answers. That is, altogether, theta can be pi over 3, 4 pi over 3, pi over 6, or 7 pi over 6. Okay? And again, you need to just give your answers in 2 pairs like that. Okay? You do not need to arrange the angles in ascending order. Okay? Example 11. Cosine theta and cosecant theta are the roots of the equation, and you need to find the value of k. Now, in this question, you know that cosine theta and cosecant theta are not friends. That means you cannot use the product of roots equals 1 to find the value of k. And also, the value of k appears not in the product of roots position. So, what you are going to do is to try to consider the sum of roots and product of roots first. Okay, I'm not going to substitute the roots into the equation, because when we are talking about 2 roots, we firstly consider the sum of roots and the product of roots. So first of all, I will consider the sum is negative k over 3, and also the product of them is negative 4 over 3. And also note that it's very special to have the angle specified within range which is not from 0 to 2 pi. It's from pi to 2 pi, that is quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Okay, it may be useful to us. Now, looking at the sum of roots and product of roots, you should be vigilant to this kind of writing. Do you still remember how can we simplify these two? There are 2 ways to simplify it. Firstly, when you know that cosecant is 1 over sine, you can have cosine over sine, right? Or do you still remember we define or we write cotangent as cosine times cosecant? That means you can directly write it as 1 trigonometric ratios. And that means we have tangent theta is negative 3 over 4. What's so important to have 1 trigonometric ratio written like that? Because for tangent theta is a negative number, and we also know that theta is ranging from pi to 2 pi. That means theta is in quadrant 4. And when we consider the last side, then we can find the value of cosine theta and cosecant theta. Okay? If you're not so familiar with the trigonometric ratios, you can always draw a reference triangle with a reference angle alpha. That is to write the ratio of the sides of tangents here, and you can have 5 here. So when you are you're considering a cosine theta, you have 4 over 5 quadrant 4, so you'll have 4 over 5. And cosecant theta is equal to 1 over sine, that is 5 over 3, quadrant 4, so negative 5 over 3. Then you can substitute the result back to the sum of roots to get the value of k. So we have 4 over 5 plus negative 5 over 3 equals negative k over 3. And use your calculator to get negative k over 3 equals negative 13 over 15. And thus k is 13 over 5. Okay? Now in this video, I still have 2 examples to share with you. Okay. Example 12. Example 12 is a little bit different. Again, we are not having cosine and cosecant, but instead we have secant and cosecant. Okay, or you may think that it's 1 over sine and 1 over cosine. We don't know what relation do they have, right? But when we are talking about something related to cosine and sine, you should note one thing, that we maybe should make use of this relation, because it's the relation between sine and cosine, one of the relations between sine and cosine, right? Now, we first just do what we can do. You can actually substitute the roots into here, and you can say you can form some sine and cosine. But as I have said before, when you are given 2 roots, you should first consider the sum and the product of roots. The sum of roots is negative 3k, and the product of roots is 5k. And you may want to change them back. So for equation 1 and equation 2, you can just do some rewrite. For equation 1, you have 1 over cosine theta plus 1 over sine theta is negative 3k. And you should have, by multiplication, you will have sine theta plus cosine theta equals negative 3k sine and cosine. I call it, say, equation 3. In equation 2, you know it's 1 over sine and cosine, and you just reverse the numerator and denominator. There's no surprise for you to know sine and cosine theta is 1 over 5k. And that is equation 4. Now, you know that we have the same set of sine theta and cosine theta in the 2 equations, so we do the substitution. We substitute equation 4 into equation 3, so we have sine theta plus cosine theta is negative 3k times 1 over 5k, which is a negative 3 over 5. Okay, and what to do next? In the previous exercise, you should meet something related to sine plus cosine, and I also give you a hint at the very beginning that we may need to use the sum of the square of them is 1. So we try to take square on both sides. Okay, we take squares on both sides. And when you do the expansion, you will have sine square plus cosine square automatically. And also you will get 2 of sine theta cosine theta. The result is 9/25. Now this thing appears again, so you have everything ready. You have 1 plus 2, and we have here 1/5k equals 9/25. Okay, and thus we have a 2/5k equals negative 16/25. And in the end, we have k equals to negative 5/8. Okay? So this is the end of example 12. And lastly, example 13, when we are talking about roots, we can say the equation has 2 real roots, there's no root, or it has repeated roots, right? So if an equation involves trigonometric ratios, then what would it be like? Okay, the last example of this part as well as this video, example 13. If the equation has repeated roots and the angle is ranging from 0 to pi, you need to be very careful with the range. You need to find theta. For repeated roots, we will know discriminant is 0. We just follow this and see what can be done. So we start with the discriminant is 0 and is something like b squared minus 4ac. Okay, don't literally write down b squared minus 4ac. Okay, just write down this thing. And you do the expansion, we have 16 sine square theta minus 24 cosine theta equals 0. And you should be able to do that by converting sine square into 1 minus cosine square. And for 16 and 24, you can simplify as 2 and 3. So we have 2 of 1 minus cosine square theta minus 3 cosine theta equals 0. And it's a quadratic equation in cosine. So we have 2 cosine square theta plus 3 cosine theta minus 2 equals 0. And by solving, we know that cosine theta is 1/2, or cosine theta is negative 2. And this is rejected. And for cosine theta is 1/2, we know that theta is pi/3. Okay, so this is example 13. So that's the end of the trigonometric equations part 1 that I want to share with you. There would be more parts coming up because we have to learn different kinds of trigonometric relations, and then when you have learned some new thing, we can integrate it into the things or the type of questions that we have discussed. Okay, see you later for the trigonometric equations part, and thanks for watching.